Are you looking for scientifically proven ways to get your first push-up or your 10th push-up? That's what this video is all about. Hello, it's Lita here from Kinetic Ability and welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome and welcome back to our new subscribers. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. Any links that will be mentioned in this video can be found in the description box just down below, and let's get going. This video is going to be all about the push-up, looking at the different movement patterns, muscles used, and the different variations, techniques and progressions to get you where you want to go. So if you don't want to stick around for the theory side of things, I will leave the time on screen so you can jump straight to the practical. And at the end, I am also going to include some bonus tips to really help accelerate your journey to that number 1 or number 10 of your push-up journey. So let's jump straight into it. Right now, we're going to have a look at what movement patterns and muscles you use during the push-up. So first off, we're going to split the screen. On the left is going to be the anatomy and on the right will be the real life example like I showed. You might want to watch this section a couple of times because it's quite fast. Starting off with wrist extension as I'm showing, just so you know the hand position is slightly different on the model than me, and here I'm showing wrist flexion. So moving on to elbow flexion and extension using triceps and the brachialis muscles. Here I'm showing how the lats help to bring the shoulder into extension and how the pecs anterior deltoid are bringing it back into flexion, as well as horizontal adduction with the help of pecs and the anterior deltoid. Here I'm showing you how the shoulder retracts using lats and protracts using serratus anterior and pec minor. Here we are using the trap muscles, the various scap to elevate the shoulder, and lower traps and your lats to depress the shoulder. Here I'm showing you how the pecs and anterior deltoid can internally rotate your shoulder as well as externally rotate using your posterior deltoid and rotator cuff muscles. Here we're looking at the pelvic position. This is called a posterior pelvic tilt using psoas, abdominals, and here's the opposite called anterior pelvic tilt using mainly your back erectors. You'll be using your glutes and stuff as well. What I'm going to show you now is the angle of my forearm. Watch how that went backwards. If you look at the top photo, you want to be at a 90-degree angle. It's a very common mistake and it will limit how many push-ups you can do. So what you want is your body to travel forwards, okay? So that elbow doesn't really move. I'm keeping that nice 90-degree angle and I'm just pressing through the ground and not letting the angle of my elbow shift down closer towards the floor. Next, hand positioning is very important. This wide angle is not very useful. It doesn't promote a lot of growth, whereas a closer angle with your hands under your shoulders has actually been shown to develop your triceps and your pecs way more than that wide variation. Of course, all of these other muscles I'm clicking on, your glutes, hamstrings, calves, your quads, your core, they're all going to be stabilizing when you are pressing down and up. That's what's going to give you that rigid body control and allow you to have perfect form basically. As well as all the other muscles switching from being stabilizers, primary movers, and that's just too complicated to go into. I will leave a link in the description box down below if you are interested in learning more about anatomy. And like I said, this is a very, very quick overview. So if you want to go back and watch it a couple of times, decide which screen you want to watch, have a look at what I'm doing, have a look at what the anatomy app is doing. That's probably the best way to do it. Push-ups are hard, they're difficult, they take time. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably already familiar with the struggle of learning a new bodyweight skill. If you feel like you're, quite weak, it is tough. Smash that thumbs up button if you know what the struggle is all about. So just to summarize, the elements of a push-up include the body line and tension, wrist extension, the ability to control and have enough strength to control your scapula, which is your shoulder blade, controlling your pelvic tilt, so anteriorly, posteriorly, just having that midpoint. So thinking bringing your hips towards your ribs, controlling that forearm angle, breathing, making sure you're doing the correct progression, as well as ensuring progressive overload. Moving on to common errors. So the first one is the body line positioning, having that overarch position. These people normally are working a too hard progression and need to work on their core positioning and strength as well as arm strength. The next one is that bum in the air. Same thing, they're trying to offload the weight off their arms, work on that arm strength and body control. Lastly, this is what you're kind of looking for, that straight line body position with that 90-degree angle at the elbow. Onto the practical. So everyone's going to have different starting points and different reasons for why they can't do a push-up, or potentially their technique is hindering the amount of push-ups that they can do. So hopefully those questions have kind of been answered in the last section. So what we're trying to do now is apply that information to get you to the next point. So let's say that you cannot do one push-up and we're going to do an training aim of strength, okay? If you don't know the different training aims and why that's important and how that ties into your training routine, go and check out this episode. I will link it in the information card. That helps to explain why we're going to choose what parameters to help you get your push-up. Starting off, you're going to start with slow eccentric cluster reps, doing 2 to 3 sets of 2 to 3 reps and lowering as slowly as possible between 1 to 10 seconds and with anywhere from say like 0 to 60 seconds rest. So how this works is that you need to start with one set, do 2 to 3 reps back to back of slowly lowering yourself, and then you would rest for 60 seconds as a beginner. Then basically when you work your way up to doing 3 sets of 3 reps and you're lowering over 10 seconds and you're resting at 60 seconds, then you basically start working the rest back. So you work from 60 to say 50 seconds to 40 seconds to 30 seconds, etc. till you get to 0, and then you move on to the next progression. So here I'm showing you the slow, basically eccentric portion of the movement, lowering as slowly as I can. Then I'm switching to an easier concentric push from my knees. So I would do that for my prescribed sets and reps. Then I have my rest time and then just repeat. So you want to be doing this kind of 2 to 3 times per week to actually get a significant stimulus from it and develop some strength. Then moving on, you're gonna go to step 2, which is isometric. So you're gonna hold it through different ranges, I say week ranges, pick 3 different positions and start with smaller hold times of 5 seconds and doing 2 to 3 sets again and resting 60 seconds. So picking the top position perhaps, somewhere in between the top and the bottom position. Once you've nailed that and maxed out all that, you move on to full reps. So aiming to build up 3 sets of 10 reps before moving on to the next progression. And again, resting somewhere between 30 to 90 seconds per set, in between sets. Here I'm showing you good form push-ups, nice tempo as well. Once I've hit that, you want to add some progressive overload to keep making it harder for yourself. So you're going to do that by adding resistance in the form of weight or a resistance band, for example. So here you can see I'm just adding a weighted backpack on my back. Same thing, work up 3 times 10 reps. And then you're ready to basically just cycle different push-up variations to avoid overuse injury or train for power, strength, endurance. Again, check out that video I linked if you want to know how to train for one or the other. So here I'm showing you those diamond push-ups, really good for higher tricep and chest activation. Plyo push-ups are going to help develop more of a power stimulus. I will stress it takes 4 to 6 weeks to actually physically build an increase in size in the muscle. So you will have to be patient. It's not a quick fix. You just can't rush physiology. You will have a much quicker tweak if it's just technique. Okay, that neuromuscular change comes in around 2 weeks. Okay, that's much faster. But yeah, be patient, show up, be consistent, and you will be doing full push-ups before you know it. So the bonus tips. Thank you for watching to this point in the video, and as promised, here are your bonus tips. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with accessories, no, they're not things that you put on such as watches and rings when you go out. In terms of training, accessories are additional movements that you do to help complement or oppose potentially the movement that you are training. So we're training a horizontal push, so you want to be doing a horizontal rowing motion. So that can be inverted rows, it can be kettlebell rows, dumbbell rows, just something to basically oppose all the pressing muscles taking over your shoulder, so we keep it all nice and balanced, which is really important for joint health, okay? Secondly, in order to basically get the most out of the hypertrophy slash strength gains. You know, there probably isn't enough volume in what we're going to be doing in the practical session, so we need to basically top it up a bit. So there's a couple of different ways. You can either, number one, do an easier progression and just do another round of let's say 3x5, or you can also supplement it with various pressing exercises, such as, for example, the bench press or a half kneeling banded press. Okay, the difference between the two is you're going to have a lot more core stimulation during the half kneeling version, because during a bench press you are lying down. Now you mightn't think that's too important, but there is a very high activity in your core when you're doing a press up, because it is stabilizing your midline. That allows you to go down and up as one unit, and if you didn't have your core active, that's when you start to get that slouchy back, or like the seesaw kind of motion with the upper and lower body, which you don't want. So I would advise you to train something that is more in a half kneeling or even a standing position, like a semi-squat position, just to get that core involved as well. So hopefully with all these little tips, it's really going to help you get that first push-up. And yeah, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Let me know if you hit your first push-up or you improve your push-ups from any of these tips used in the video, or tag us in our other social media channels such as Instagram. More than happy to have a look at any technique or form. Yeah, just tag us at Kinetic Ability UK. That brings me to the end of the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you learned something new today. If you did enjoy this video, I would massively appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up button, potentially subscribe to the channel if you want to see the future content, and yeah, drop us a comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see more of on this channel. But yes, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next video.